Good evening and welcome to Backseat Drivers number 28, the Ramon Grosjean edition. I'm in a different, this isn't a background, that's actually a couple of cars behind me.
He's on vacation.
Yeah, I'm on location. I'm a bit more dedicated than some other people who are on here who go on holidays and don't bother, turning up and doing
you're
stuff.
the boss. You got to show a good example.
It's a worry when I'm the boss, isn't it? So, but yeah, we've got Buvy once again filling in for Rob, who's apparently he's gone on work, but yeah, it's always questionable whether any work gets done when people go on overseas junkets. So
yeah, exactly.
This is where we are. We're going to go through some conspiracy theories from Formula One tonight because there's no racing on this weekend because apparently there's supposed to be a Russian Grand Prix this weekend, but
no
Russian, no Ruski.
Yeah, we're not allowed to mention. Don't mention the war.
Don't mention the war.
I mentioned it once, but I think I got away with it.
Yeah, it's all right. We're good.
I could be in trouble here because of the way I got my camera set up. I might knock the computer a bit. But we have got a little bit of news to cover off before there's Yuki Tsunoda's been confirmed at AlphaTauri for one more year.
That's good.
Was it one more year?
I think so.
Well, that was my hope was that seat because it looks like De Vries might end up in the AlphaTauri.
So, with Grosjean at not Grosjean, with Gasly going to Alpine.
I think that nearly confirms that Gasly will be going to Alpine now. It's not bad for Gasly.
Yeah, Yuki Tsunoda.
That's it. Is it a what? Fact checkers?
I'm checking it now. I'm on it. All I've got is a link saying he's staying for 2023. Looks like it's for a season.
One season.
One season.
Just one season. Yeah, typically they don't do long contracts, especially for the AlphaTauri guys. Anyway.
Yep.
So
yep, it's definitely looks like it's one season.
So
it's only one season.
And then the calendar for next year has been released as well.
4 million races.
Exactly. So many.
What is 24, isn't it?
It's 24 races.
So that's essentially one every 2 weeks for the whole year.
But they've changed it around a little bit too.
Yeah, I was surprised how late.
Racing it up a bit.
Yeah. But I was surprised. I didn't think Vegas would be the second last. Especially
I always thought it would be the last or second last.
I would think so too, because you don't want to go to Vegas.
It's the party one.
When it's not just that, you don't want to be in Vegas when it's too hot either.
But also they typically, I can understand because they're trying to space out the American rounds. And Dream, I'm at my father's garage at the moment. We've visited them for the long weekend. And I read something about that as well. So it's easy to make comments like that when it's not your team.
Exactly.
Take my old kid.
Take my old person.
Yeah. He's just lobbing out some hand grenades there, I think.
Does that mean Papa Stroll's going to start giving off his kid to the other teams? Hey, Ferrari, not. Take my kid.
I think if another team would take Junior, he probably would, because that would increase the performance of his team.
Of course it would.
Take my son, take $1 million.
Okay.
He did that with Williams, and I think Williams was starting to get to the point where they didn't want to continue with him.
I don't think so. Yeah. Just looking at it, the calendar, the first 3 races are the same from last year. Oh, this year, sorry.
Melbourne's third?
Yep. Melbourne's third. Then we go to China. Let me say it properly. China.
I take it Russia's still not there?
Nope. Then from China, it's Azerbaijan. And
they saying, I saw pictures that basically if they did it smartly, you could travel around in a circle but they're going back and forth over the world.
They're doing a back and forth again because it goes Baku, Miami, Imola in a month period.
And their carbon footprint is ruined.
Just with that range, just with those ranges. Like you can go doing Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Australia, China. That's okay because you're going Middle East, Australia, then going back up to China. No problems. Baku's okay because you're coming back to Europe, but then from Baku you're flying all the way to Miami.
Oh, that's
that is the big one, and then you fly back to Imola. Then you fly back to Imola. So
you'd be better off doing, say, Miami and then Baku.
Yeah,
and
but they have 3 boats, moving stuff around constantly.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of it goes 747. So
it would have to.
The cars and that.
747 or
there is like some of the pit equipment and that for the flyaways does get sent off early, so they'll have probably 3 sets of like the pit equipment and that for all the flyaways, and the tires and that get shipped around. But the cars,
and also there's still another flyaway in the middle of all the European rounds as well, because it goes Spain and then we go to Canada.
Yeah, which also, I can understand why they have separated out the American races, but it's it would be a lot more logical to run them, especially because they're in such different zones and stuff. But I think then there is weather complications with. I'm
especially
not
Canada.
sure on the full.
No. With Canada, you want to run at that time of year. You don't want to run anywhere near, or you don't want to run anywhere near October, November, December. Definitely not in Canada. It gets cold there.
Like Vegas wanted to be a certain time of year because of weather. Miami, the other end, and things like that.
Yeah, so basically they've got Miami at a point where it's just before it hits the wet season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it true, Dave, that Ferrari's going to lose one of their transport vehicles just because of their strategy getting around the
world? Possibly.
It's not so bad on the flyway stuff. It's probably more of an issue for the local rounds.
Yeah.
Or the European ones. Yeah.
Forgetting their keys.
They just turn up with half a what are the bus things? Nah, the bus where the team.
Oh, the motorhomes.
Oh,
yeah, they turn up with one of the trucks missing from the motorhome, so they're just got
so
two sides,
so they'll
and
miss
no
the toilets.
center of it. Yeah,
you bring the keys?
That could be missing.
No,
oh shit, we left that truck back in Italy.
Oh no!
I thought you were driving the truck, Dave. I'm taking that truck.
Who approved this?
Yeah.
So
basically, it's a decent calendar. No, it's a good calendar. It's a good calendar. The fact that they've actually moved Spa to more of a late June, early July time is better than saying late August because of just weather patterns in the area.
Yeah. I do like Spa, though, as the round coming back from the summer break, though.
You usually is. Instead, now we're going to have Zandvoort.
Which, the hard thing with that, though, that is a very specific max event kind of round.
Both of them are technically. Both Spa and technically both are. Because his mum's Belgium.
Spa's not as bad as Zandvoort.
Spa's not as bad as thing. Yeah, exactly.
Which
Ferrari pretty much just show up to whichever ones they want. Can they do like new thing where like we can't be bothered turning up?
No, you can't do
next
that.
Week. It's
can't do that in Formula One, unfortunately.
It's too cold.
These
I'm
contracts
tired.
where.
Nah, you got to have this contract to fulfill. You got to basically. It's about the money coming in.
Yeah,
there's a lot of.
Well, the last one to miss would have been Caterham when after Bianchi's crash.
Oh shit, that's going back.
Yeah, so that would have been the last time a team missed a race with one car. So, yeah, they still turned up with the
cars.
Will Stevens, I think it was.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So Ferrari could still turn up with 3 wheels.
Yeah, of course they
could.
It
still counts.
It still counts. They've got to be
a typical weekend. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. How many tires on a car? 2. Just need 2 on the back.
They'll be drifting all over the place. They'll be just drifting all over the place. I was going to say, what did you guys think about all the engine penalties we've seen in the last 2 races?
Hilarious.
It
was great watching them pointing them out.
It's but then you get the people going, oh, there shouldn't be any engine penalties, blah blah blah. It's like, well, then people are going to go back to having 3 engines a weekend.
Do we want to get back to the point where they had
the Super one and then the racing one?
No. This is what they had. They had the practice engine, the qualifying engine, and then they had the race engine. And the qualifying engine was one where it would survive 1 lap, and that's it.
That'd be cool.
That's what it was back in the day, because I remember back in the day when they would actually do the qualifying not this turbo era, the previous turbo era. When they were qualifying, they'd pump the engine power up to about 1500 RPM, but then when it came down to the race, they would drop it back down to 800-900. But now at least they've got them running at 1,000 horsepower constantly. So yeah, I prefer this than having those 3 different engines.
What I don't like, which I can see why they're doing it, because you try and find an
cost
advantage,
saving.
is but like why the teams are they're strategically taking penalties now to get
because they know
parts within the pool. Yeah, and they know
it adds extra parts to the pool as well. That's the thing too.
Yeah, but they know
do you know if the other team's taking penalties?
Yeah, of course they are.
So like if I know Lewis is taking a penalty and I'm Max, I'm like, I might as well take mine now so we're on equal footing.
Basically, yeah.
That's what some of them are doing. And like, oh, these other guys are taking penalties, so I'll out-qualify them. So I end up, like, instead of being 20th on the grid, I might be 15th. So that's going to make it, instead of, lap 12 or whatever, I'm in first position, I'll be in first by lap 7.
I mean, Max doesn't care where he starts. He's still coming first.
Exactly. Or what Hamilton did last year at Interlagos.
Yeah.
You saw what he did.
Yeah. That was very impressive from Mercedes, that one race.
Definitely.
There was something going on that weekend.
Oh, for sure.
Should add that to the conspiracy list.
I reckon.
I didn't have that one.
Yeah.
How was he so much faster than everybody else?
Oh, that was he was a long way in front of everybody else.
Oh, that was crazy. Just in terms of that.
There should be conspiracy theories galore about that one.
I think there are, but
there was one about Mercedes just being better and they had to slow down. But no one had anything like
no proof or anything like that.
Conspiracy theories. No proof.
Oh yeah, so no meat to the bone.
Yeah. Like most of them.
Yeah.
Most of them are like that anyway.
I do think like the start of 2014 that they were cruising around until I think it was Bahrain, which was like the 3rd round. Mm-hmm. And then they ignored team orders and turned them up and went for it. And then they were pulling away at like 2.5 seconds lap faster than everybody else after a safety car battling each other. And everyone kind of went, they are a long way ahead. Yeah, but that wasn't so much like they'd been told to slow down. I think that was just the team knowing that they were that far in front that we'll only turn the cars up to 8
instead of 10.
We're not risking them. Yeah,
exactly.
And then the drivers went nuts to this and cranked them up to 11, and
everybody goes, "Holy crap!"
And I think that's when everyone realized.
13 on one of the older cars.
Could have been, when you had the modes.
Yeah,
the secret software.
Yeah, I think one of them cranked it up, so the other one went, "Oh well, if you're going to turn it up, I'm going to go with you." And
exactly.
Everyone else went, "We're not going to win a race for the next 14 years."
Well, almost was.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, Dan did win 3 races that year. Just saying.
Yeah, he did all right.
Yeah.
He did too, didn't he? At Red Bull. Canada.
Hungary and Spa.
Oh, yeah.
Hungary and Spa in that the 2014. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd struggle to name all his other wins in, but I definitely remember those because that was
Monaco's in there.
Difficult year.
Monaco, Monza.
He won at China. Monza was with McLaren though.
McLaren,
but he's had
doesn't matter. We're talking about total. Yeah, he had 8 in total.
Yeah, he won China. Where are we at? That'd be 6 or 7 we got on the count. I don't know.
Did he win? Did he double up on any of the wins at any of the tracks? Did he win Did he win at Spain?
Not that I remember, because that was the one when Max came in and won. Was the Barcelona one?
The only one I remember is him getting disqualified in Melbourne.
That was 2014.
That was the third one.
Yeah,
that was the third one.
Here we go.
Yeah,
Buvy's fact checking.
Was that that was second position? Second position, he got disqualified out of. Yeah.
Here we go. So Canada, Hungary,
yep,
Belgium. He won in Malaysia when we were racing there. Yeah, he won in Malaysia, 2016. 2017 was Baku. 2 wins in 2018.
Oh, yeah, he did the Baku one, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, he did 2018, China, Monaco, and then 2021, Monza with McLaren.
Now,
those are his 8 wins.
Buvy, Rob's not here.
That was his last win.
Can you just quickly look up Latifi's podiums and wins?
I'll
give you a minute.
All right, let me look him up. Let me look him up. All right, no worries. Okay, Latifi.
Some hold music while we're waiting.
Here
we go. Okay, here we go. Driver DB. Wins, none.
Yep.
Podiums, none. Position in the championship, 22.
22.
Points this year, none.
None.
But if you ignore Spa last year, if you take that out, he still gets beaten in the championship by George Russell.
Anyway, Rob's not here to defend him.
Rob's not here.
He's obviously not watching or anything because we're not getting any abusive messages at the moment.
Exactly.
So
is he in the?
What do you think De Vries going to AlphaTauri increases Latifi's chances of keeping his seat next year, or is he just?
I've got a feeling he's going to go on.
Dave,
I've got a feeling if
you have a job and there's 5 people that do the job and you're the 6th best at it, you need to go.
Currently, there is 20 Formula 1 drivers. You are 21st.
Yeah, how do you be even worse? Like
I know.
That's
you had a sub come in.
Yeah.
You had a sub come in this week. Which one?
There was one. Williams told Latifi at the start of the year, "If you finish 20th in the championship, you're fired."
So
he's 21st.
That's big brain thinking.
That's big guy. Yeah, he's 21st in the championship. Holy crap! He's definitely looking at you.
Dave,
he's thinking on another level.
He technically is first. If you look around.
It's a hard job holding up all those other drivers on the ladder.
Oh yeah. Stroll's definitely a better driver than Latifi.
Other sport, Latifi would have draft picks next year.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Picks.
Yeah.
He'd be like you'd have a first round draft pick with concessions for 2nd and 3rd, like North Melbourne did.
This is bordering on a 5-second penalty.
I heard.
I'm more than willing to take it. I'm more than willing to take it if it has to be done.
How do I? There we go. There we go. He's stuck.
Hey, you can actually see some of the great background I made for the conspiracy theories.
Yeah. Latifi's gone. No conspiracy there.
Yeah.
And I'm back.
Oh, he's back.
I'm back.
All right.
I think one Canadian's gone at least.
Yeah. I've got a feeling, Matt, your theory will still be. I think your theory will definitely be up there in terms of there'll be more Aussies than Canadians.
Yeah. They're taking over.
So we're still banking on Dan.
Yeah, Dan will find.
I'm holding out
why would you want to get rid of a driver that can? Okay, sure. McLaren hasn't marketable, one, and two, he will perform. It's just that the car has not suited his driving style.
What? It's hard though for me because Sorry.
I don't know if the car was held back down.
I think it's definitely or either Norris is on an absolute other level. But yeah, I think Dan's adaptation to this car has been an issue, or the McLaren way of thinking. But my hard thing is, like, for Dan, from where he's come, what he was expecting to now, his choices are, Williams or Haas, which he's probably going to end up at Haas.
Probably.
He's. Do you really want to go and do? Do you want to go and be Fernando Alonso? Like,
if he's getting paid for it, why not?
Fernando is Rookie of the Year this year. He is outstanding as a rookie. But like, do you really want to go out and, get excited about scraping into Q? I mean, the way he's going at the moment, getting into Q2 is exciting. But realistically, the best hope you've got, going to Haas or Williams is that kind of like scraping Q2, the odd Q3 appearance, scoring a point here and there. Like, the IndyCar seats have kind of disappeared, but I would have been who
knows? It might be NASCAR.
Have some.
Do you think he's waited too long? And should have just grabbed.
Yeah, well, see, as I kept saying, like that Ganassi seat that was up for grabs because of the whole Palou situation, that's what I would have been chasing hard, or the AlphaTauri seat, as I said, because all you got to do is beat whoever's in the second AlphaTauri seat, which isn't going to be Gasly now, so the job's just got a hell of a lot easier.
Exactly. So basically, you got to beat PlayStation Boy.
Yeah, if you beat Tsunoda, you replace Perez. So
exactly.
Yeah. It's just on that with the Jack Doohan thing as well.
Yeah.
Once again, he's Alpine's probably going to shaft him as well. So would have been better off sticking with the Red Bull program because they would possibly be looking to promote him right now. But
you'd think so.
Yeah.
You would think so. The fact that he's actually
another
Alpine Academy driver screwed. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
another Australian
Guan Yu Zhou, Oscar Piastri, Christian Lundgaard, and now Jack Doohan probably not getting a seat with him.
But I do. Dave. That's how many tires on a car.
Yeah, it
is. Better message Ferrari and let them know. Strategy this week, guys. Okay, 4 tires on the car each time, please.
Yeah. They've done training. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 3, 2, 1. Make sure there's
how many fingers on one hand?
There. 5. Spare. You have one at the back.
You don't count your thumb, you idiot. But I lost a finger, sir. I've only got 3. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's a.
I think they'd probably put him on a 1+.
Yeah, they would probably 1+. Like it'll be 1 year if he does well enough.
Yeah.
I just still want him to beat Hamilton's record. I just want him to race next year so he can beat Hamilton. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I reckon. If he's
8 world championships, yeah, that's going to be.
No, not that one. No, not that record. The most consecutive starts. Yeah, he's got a chance.
Buvy, a can of Pepsi Max and a cheeseburger says that doesn't happen.
Deal. Done. That's a bet.
He's still got 40 races.
No, it's less than 40.
Oh, it's about 30. It's 2 seasons at least.
No, it's a season.
By the time we get to 2025, that'll be like a season.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There'll be a race every week.
The NASCAR model.
Yeah.
Just
the only difference is NASCAR only drives around one country.
Yeah.
That'd be easier.
Without, like, imagine working in a team, the burnout on something like that.
Oh, it'd be crazy.
Like you're flying across the world, setting up, have the race weekend.
You'd have to.
pack it
You'd
down.
almost have to think. You'd almost have to have like 2 separate teams to do all that.
I imagine that they're going to have to start looking at it because they used to have like separate testing teams and that when they were testing flat out, and they would alternate people in and out and things like that. But
Maybe they're going to have to do
I
that
think
for
they're
the
going to have to
flyways.
start looking at where you alternate so you can give some people a bit of a break.
Exactly,
because it will get, especially because there's a couple of triple headers in next year, isn't there?
Yeah, there are.
Oh, really?
The triple headers, that's essentially like you would be a full month on the road non-stop.
Yeah, you would be.
Yeah.
So if I look at it now, I'm just checking. No, so you've got March 5, March 19.
So
that's about 2 weeks. So
you keep everyone else, and then just have like looping pit crews. So at least have a week off.
No, there's mainly
at some
headers.
point where you have breaks in there.
I'm just checking.
There's
there's only one triple header technically.
Oh, okay. I thought there was 2.
There's one.
No, that's
Dave, 2026. It's just
but the problem is though, it's going through 3 countries: USA, Mexico, and Brazil.
Yeah, which they're all flying. Like,
yeah, that's all flying.
It's not,
but the rest are all doubles.
It's not that close. Like, some of the European stuff isn't quite as bad. Like, you leave Monday, you get it the next track Tuesday. But even then, really,
wait a second. You're right, Matt. Sorry, Dave. You're right. There's 2. There's one triple header.
Why does Buvy check this?
I always check this. You know me. I'm the fact checker.
Dave's the boss.
So we got.
I haven't even
Imola,
got it in front of me or read it.
Imola, Monaco, Barcelona. That's the first triple header.
Those ones aren't too. They're not too bad though.
That's a road.
But even then, like, you're probably only getting a day. Like, as far as mechanic wise, you're probably only getting a day off.
But from Imola to Monaco is basically an 8-hour trip by truck, so that's not an issue.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Monaco to Barcelona would be another day trip just to get all the equipment there. So that's not really that. That's very easy.
But
so you probably get 1 or 2 days off.
Yeah, but it's not. You probably a day.
Probably if you're lucky.
So, which isn't. Yeah, you probably don't have the same kind of pressure as what you do with some of the other rounds, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
but then you've got
and
the
you're
USA,
not at home
Mexico,
with
Brazil.
that day off and that. Yeah,
you wouldn't be able to fly back home. Yeah,
yeah. It's not like you're going home playing with the kids, having sleeping in your own bed, etc., etc. And I'd imagine the mechanics aren't staying at what's a really fancy hotel.
The
Hilton, the Ritz, the
Hilton.
Yeah, you're not because I'm Hysis. Yeah, I'm Hysis. Hey, Chris, those service department things aren't that bad.
Sorry, Mr. Fancy Man.
They're not too bad.
Actually, I should keep that a secret from people. We've used them a few times because it works out quite efficient when you're staying. If you can get one of those, anyway. But the mechanics aren't exact. The mechanics are staying at your Best Western or whatever. What's the one at the airport? Holiday Inn or something?
Holiday Inn. Oh, there's nothing. Yeah, there's Formula 1. It's become Hotel Ibis now.
Oh yeah, there used to be one near the end of Sydney Road, Buvy.
Yeah, that one.
That was one of those where you could just hire it for an hour or whatever, though, wasn't it as well?
Yep.
Yeah, they were questionable. I got an idea. Tents. Just make
tents at the track.
Music festivals.
Tents at the track. That's all they need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or technically they can do glamping.
No. Kmart tents.
What, $30 tent? Everybody gets a tent.
Says Red Bull on the side.
and you buy a $30 Kmart pool, and it's a resort with a pool.
Exactly. Unlike Miami.
And it's under the stars. People pay money for that.
$1 million stars.
Exactly.
$1 million. $1 million hotel. $1 million-star hotel.
Getting back to the environment or whatever it is.
Exactly.
Seb would be proud of us talking like this.
I think
they have hotels like that all over the place.
The F1 ones.
Yeah.
That F1 one that was on the Sydney Road, where you can hire them by the hour and that. Yeah.
Oh, they have.
You just got to know. You just got to know where to go.
Where are they, Dave? You seem to know.
I have no idea. I just remember that one.
Yeah, what's that become? It's become a Hotel Ibis or something now, but still similar format.
And still by the hour?
Okay.
I think no, you can rent. They've got night.
Buvy, can you fact check for us?
I'll fact
Why
check.
would you hire a hotel room by the hour?
I don't know.
I just want a really short sleep.
Power naps, Dave.
So we covered off the because this is really heading into shady territory now. If we covered off the news for the week,
I think we've covered most of the news.
Yeah, Red Bull. We can't. I don't think we've covered the fact that basically they can't get Herder in because Red Bull can't.
Oh yeah, they've given up on Herder, haven't they?
Yeah.
He's done.
Yeah.
So if he goes to IndyCar next year, will he get a super license?
Who, Herder?
Yeah, can he still get a super license?
Yeah, but he needs the results.
Yeah, well, he's got obviously going to get the result, but can
because it's more than possible. It just depends on the Andretti package next year, because they've just been struggling as a team. But you've got, I mean, like Will Power, Joseph Newgarden have both got super license. They've got enough points. Alex Plow, yeah.
Hey, he's actually listening.
I'm still here.
We recruited him.
So
he's still there.
Dave's there.
Dave's here.
Yeah.
I was going to say it's become a little bit more. They don't offer rooms by the hour anymore.
Buvy's actually fact checked it.
I actually fact checked it. They don't offer rooms by the hour anymore.
Oh well, there goes that plan.
Well, that's ruined.
That's ruined. Yes.
Also, Dave, if Coulter does get a good result, what's to say that he doesn't even have a seat available?
I'd say the opportunity's basically gone now.
I think it's a bit too late.
And unless De Vries, shines in that AlphaTauri seat and ends up at Red Bull, and then they're in the similar kind of situation again where they're looking for someone, or possibly if Andretti does get an entry into Formula One, and he comes across.
That rumor that they were going to sell, Red Bull was going to sell off AlphaTauri, and then that can be the Andretti team.
Well, there was also a rumor about Porsche buying AlphaTauri as well.
It was like a joint team. Joint thing or
something like that.
I think as well, because Red Bull's a little bit disillusioned with the whole AlphaTauri thing now, because essentially you've got Perez in that seat who's got nothing to do with the junior program, and you've got these juniors that come through that are never going to get promoted.
Yeah, because Perez is doing his
job. Because you've got. I mean, sorry.
Well, Dave doesn't seem to think Perez is should keep his spot.
They need someone better in that seat, in my opinion. But I said that the same thing about Bottas. Like, you need a better wingman.
You need a better wingman, yeah.
Imagine if Ferrari didn't, make every mistake under the sun this year. Like, Carlos is very close to Charles.
Like, that's actually a good pairing. That's a good pairing. You want them to be able to push each other.
Yep, that's it. And at the moment, if Max decides to slack off for a few weeks, who knows? Because he's that far ahead of Perez.
Exactly.
You
take it easy.
Yeah.
But I don't think he will. I think he wants to go for that.
Max isn't the person who's slack off, but I'm trying to remember, because there's been a couple of times in the history where you've thought like a drop. Well, the classic was Senna in '93. You thought he was doing pretty good because Andretti was having his super awful year. And Häkkinen come in and out-qualified Senna. And then Senna all of a sudden went, oh, well, shit, I've got to try here. And went up another level and destroyed Häkkinen for the rest of the year. But you didn't know that Senna was phoning it in until you had someone ride on it in that second seat.
Yeah, it's the way it's looking. It's just, unfortunately, the way it's looking. Red Bull are just too with Max at the wheel. It's just too strong.
Yeah.
But then whoever's going to take on the second role has to know that they're going to be, the Rubens number
well,
2.
That's the hard thing as well.
That's the problem.
You've got to find, and ultimately that's why Dan left Red Bull, because he knew that Max was going to be the favourite child.
Ooh.
And it's hard.
Yeah, I can't show that comment. Even
no,
I'm
you
not
can.
That stupid.
No.
I think Rob's had a 1-match ban.
I think so.
He's match fee.
Unless Rob's had quite a few cans at the airport or something, and
I'm thinking that. I am thinking that. That comment.
He's on business, so he's probably in the business lounge.
Of course he would be. If he's going to fly business class to, where was he going again? The UK?
Yeah.
Out of the country.
I think they were flying him first class and stuff.
He's not a man of the people.
No, he isn't. I'm drinking $18 points.
What are they made of gold?
I know. Wow.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Yeah.
So is this about
I am in charge.
Yes, Matt's in charge.
Theory.
I was worried about my internet connection down here, which we're actually streaming it off a phone at the moment because that's how bad the internet is here.
Holy crap!
I think we might. I'm not even sure if we're on ADSL 1 here.
What? There's no.
Can.
Oh wow!
I heard the boop.
Oh no!
Did someone
it's not that bad. It's some weird Wi-Fi thing down here. It's ridiculous.
Oh,
anyway, we've got phones with 4G, so yeah, that's what we're doing.
4G?
Good to go.
Yeah, it's only 4Gs down here still. Out in the country,
not everywhere.
Yeah, I think they do. I think you can actually get. We've really gone off track already.
I know.
I think you can actually get NBN down here, but it's trying to get people.
Okay, I've just chosen a random address as I am the fact checker.
What are we doing, Buvy?
I'm
getting nervous.
So the NBN that's available in where currently Dave is,
the country,
regional Victoria, I'll say, is only got fibre to node, and who knows where the node is?
That would still be better than the internet they've currently got. So. You know how you go to a place and you stay for a few days and you're like, I'll connect to their Wi-Fi rather than using up all my internet on the phone.
Data, yep.
Here I don't bother connecting the phone to the Wi-Fi.
I believe that.
I don't.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad out there where you are.
Yeah. So anyway, Lee's on Starlink. Is that
fancy?
Oh wow! So you're paying? Why are you paying money to Elon?
Oh, Dave, we need to sit back. Buvy's just gonna go on a Elon Musk rant.
I can go on a Tesla rant, but I won't start that one.
Should we save that for an overtime thing at about 9:30 tonight? Who wants to sit through Buvy's Elon Musk rant? Let's go on to F1 conspiracy theories, what we're all here for.
Yeah, exactly.
Here we go, Dave. So basically, I'm going to start with the conspiracy that wasn't. Turns out it wasn't. Crashgate. So Singapore. Basically, I have many questions about it.
Run through the story. Yeah.
Run through the story, then we'll
my
answer some
understanding
questions.
Is there was a crash. Someone was told to crash. So it would give benefit to another teammate.
Yeah.
Everyone thought this looked real suspicious. And they're like, no. All good.
Well,
and then, sorry.
I genuinely remember watching that because Fernando had gone really well in practice and that, and then something went wrong I can't remember exactly, but something went wrong in qualifying, and he was pretty much on for probably like a top 3 in qualifying, and he ended up like 15th or something. And then I remember him coming in early, and you're a bit like, that's probably a bit early to get out of traffic kind of thing, but okay. And then the next thing, PK crashes. And you're like, wow, that worked out really convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, that was really well timed for Fernando. And yeah, you kind of, you give him the benefit of the doubt. You don't think 12 months later.
Well, this is the bit that gets me. So they fire the other driver and say, you're out. Naturally, he's pissed. So what's the first thing he does? Oh, FIA, gather round. Everyone, I've got a story to tell. Sit down. Papa Driver's got a story.
You're not going to believe this, but...
You're not going to believe this. Remember back last year? Singapore. And I was like, whoa! Totally legit. I was told to crash. If I was the boss of the team, I would have gone up to him and said, look, we're letting go of you. Here's a brown envelope. Shh, no more. But instead, I'm going to piss off the only man who can give a perfect detail of what happened. Pay him out.
Yeah, what I don't get is with that one, you've made this deal 12 months before, like, yep, if you do this crash, we'll give you a contract for next year. And then 12 months down the track, like, you kind of forget that you've made this deal and like, fuck him.
Yep.
We'll just get rid of him anyway. Like, yeah, where was, in the back of the head going, he could go public with it. Yeah. I mean, it totally destroyed his career as well.
Oh, well, he was scorched earth. If I'm going down, everyone's going down.
Yeah, he just went down blazing glory, like,
yeah. He's like, I don't care. I'll race go-karts. I'm done. It blew my mind how they didn't. They obviously covered it up really well during the race. And then at the end, like you said, they're forgotten. And they're like, better not piss that guy off. He knows everything. So let's just let's give him money or something and keep him happy. But instead, let's really piss him off. What's the worst he's going to do?
Burn down the whole team, essentially.
Yeah, and then the other one was Alonso knew the whole time, even though
it would be funny if you could go back, like the radio kind of communication during that race, and then whether Fernando, like, I think we should pit this lap. Are you sure we really need, because Fernando's not the kind of guy who just blindly like, yep, no problem.
Yeah, no, he'd question it, saying, why are we printing? Why are we pitting so early?
Yeah. You might have a genuine response like that from him. And then, well, we want to get you out of traffic, and there's going to be a safety car next lap.
Yeah.
How can you predict the future? I've just got a gut feeling there's going to be a safety car period next lap.
I've got the sports almanac from Back to the Future. Safety lap. Quick, pull in.
Me and Doc just got out of the DeLorean. We've got this.
I'm just looking up some of the articles on there, and the last article on the first page is the heading of the article. Fernando also knew about Singapore crash. That's the heading of the title.
He's denied it the whole time.
Yeah,
but I'm saying
I think he probably didn't know. They probably just told him we need to pit tactical.
And that's it. Exactly.
No more.
So yeah, I'd probably blame that one more on Renault than anybody else.
That was
not been able to cover 100%.
Like, for Flavio getting too cocky.
Yeah, they got Flavio getting too cocky. Then he got banned. Then he had a lifetime ban. Then the ban got overturned. Then the ban got reinstated. Then FIA settled. saying that he could not work in F1,
Yeah.
until 2013. Pat Simmons was similar sort of situation, but his was more the fact that he could actually start working in 2011. So
yeah,
basically,
he only got 3 years, didn't he?
No, technically it's 2 years.
Oh,
Pat Simmons got
okay.
2, Flab got 3.
Mm.
4 or whatever it is. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
but we
in that
never
case,
saw Flav again.
No, we haven't.
Yeah, he's gone, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, he's
Although
still
technically
been
they still
Fernando's manager.
Is he?
Oh.
Is
I'm
he still
pretty sure
Fernando's
he's
manager?
still. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's still Fernando's
Bobby's
manager.
going to fact check.
Good. Last time he
my-
proved me right.
Yes, I did.
My next one, Dave, is I wrote some notes. Pirelli gave Williams special tyres to help them win the 2012 Spanish GP as a gift to Frank Williams. And then the building burnt down.
Do you want me to just debunk this, or do we tell a bit about the story?
Let's hear about the story.
And then
Let's hear some story.
So
and Dave, you're right.
Of course I'm right.
Why does he check?
I check. I have to.
The car with the special tyres was in at Parc Ferme because it won the race. It was getting scrutineered. The car that burnt down was Bruno Senna's car, or the car that caused the fire was Bruno Senna's. The car with the special tyres was nowhere to be seen. So it was at scrutineering. So they weren't burning any evidence.
So basically, the car that was burnt.
But the internet,
so the car that was.
I've got it here, Dave. It burnt down. The internet told me.
These are facts. The car that had the special tyres.
The cars that had the special tyres was in Parc Ferme.
Was being scrutineered. So there was no burning of the special tyres.
I feel like my story's falling apart.
Oh,
I do like that story though, as though it was a special, because that was Frank Williams' 70th birthday or something like that.
Yes,
and that was the last race I think that Ginny actually went to, Frank Williams' wife.
Okay.
As well. So the whole family was there for a celebration for his birthday, because that was the closest race to his birthday. And I think it was 70th. It was 70th. A special one. Yeah. And then that was Formula One's gift to him. No, it was just freak occurrences. One of those weekends where
just happened.
Pastor was actually, because as much as, he was a bit of a hothead, he did have pace.
He could race.
And you had the Pirelli chocolate tyres that year that it was a bit of a gamble on who. And Williams actually got onto that. They had quite a few good results, or Pastel had quite a few good results that year.
But
you do have to wonder if
you were good.
No, they're pretty ordinary still around that period. But they had a better understanding of the tyres at that point. And you do have to wonder if they had a better driver that year, would they have, because they were, I'm trying to remember, I think that was the year where they nearly got Kimi Räikkönen.
Oh.
And then you wonder, say, if Kimi was there instead of at Renault that year, like, would Kimi have actually won, a handful of races at least in it and, done something in the championship? But there we go, debunked.
Mm-hmm. The next one's also been debunked because I've watched, but basically Lewis's first championship, the last race, overtaking the very last corner. Basically, the internet. These guys told me they said they had a secret deal. I've even heard why it's been debunked. Of basically, the pit stop wouldn't have changed a matter, and Hamilton would have overtaken him anyway.
Well, there was also the problem that, because Glock had actually said, I think 2 laps or a couple laps before, he said, guys, this is going to, he's that Glock.
Old blockers.
Yeah, unbiased commentating on that day, that he'd actually said to him, guys, it's going to piss down. We need to change the tyres. And they were like, nah, she'll be right, mate. And it was an Aussie on the radio. Yeah. And apparently they were going to bring him in then on that last lap. But the pits, they'd already started blocking off the pits because of fans and stuff already starting to try and invade. So they were starting to like block off the pit lane and that, and starting to shutter garages and whatever because of the impending track invasion. So they were like, well, no, don't pit because there's no one going to be there. A typical Ferrari kind of pit stop. There's not going to be anyone there to service you when you're in the pits. You better just keep going round. I'm sure the radio communication was a lot quicker than that. But essentially, yeah, if he'd pulled into the pits, there would have been no one there to service him, and Lewis would have got the position anyway. So,
yeah,
as much as I like that one, because I think Felipe would be awesome as a one-time world champion, but I was screaming at the TV at 4:00 in the morning. Good thing I was living by myself at that point.
Oh yeah, it's all right.
So there's some other wackier ones that Benetton was still using illegal driving aids in '94.
I read up on that one.
And I think it was Senna actually listened to the car and could hear that there was something, Also, that's pretty amazing that he could sit there and listen and go, yeah, that's not right.
Apparently it was the engine note, which Benetton say it was the way Schumacher played with the throttle, that he would stab at it kind of thing. But yeah, Senna was pretty certain. The coding was definitely in there. You could access the coding still.
Yeah. But they couldn't prove it was used.
Yeah, they couldn't prove that it was actually used, because I think you had to like press up 3 times, down, and to get like a cheat code on it.
Up, down, left, right, left, right.
Oh, like launch control isn't.
Yeah,
it's like launch control in some cars these days.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, hence why I don't use it in my car, because it's
game like I said, with your car, it'd be you have to go into a secret menu, select something, then go down to something else, click yes. And then
you have to have driven the car for 5 minutes to warm it up. You can only use it once. Blah blah blah.
My car just had a clutch. You just drop the clutch and
The SS, you could launch control it every set of lights if you wanted.
I know. Nah.
Yeah.
Another story.
You do not.
On the GTR, if you used launch control on any of the R35 GTRs, you automatically voided your warranty.
Really?
Yep.
Why have it there?
I don't know, but they had it there. And people used it.
Yeah. Anyway, Benetton had that code in there, and you could access it. And I think if you could switch it on with the computer before the start of the race, and then when the engine was switched off, it would clear it out of the code. I think that was an actual thing that they found. So they could have been switching it on beforehand, and then obviously when it went to scrutineering, it'd be switched off, and it would then be switched off.
So basically, it'd clear the check engine light.
Yeah. So essentially, they were using it, but not properly caught with it.
Yeah. It's a bit hard to prove. That's the only problem. You're thinking about 1994's computers and that sort of thing. These days, a different story.
Well, that's what they said. They essentially copied and pasted the code from the previous year, and we didn't know it was still in there, and blah blah blah. And
that's why they've all got. That's why they've all got sanctioned ECUs now.
McLarens.
We got some more. Basically, Ferrari created a super engine, got caught out, threatened to leave F1, and so the FIA told them to dumb down the engine, and by the sounds of it, dumb down their pit crew, and they took it all seriously. Make everyone dumb.
We dumbed down too much.
They went down too far.
Overcorrected
too far. Nah, so from what I've heard,
yeah.
I'm going to go ahead, Dave, on this. From what I've heard,
go for it.
From this particular engine, one of the things I've read up on it was the fact they were actually using a tiny little bit of oil. They're actually burning off a tiny little bit of oil at the same time to actually improve the performance of the engine. This is what I've heard.
All of them were doing the oil burn thing though at one point.
No, but Ferrari were doing it to another level, I think.
I thought, from what I heard, they were essentially skitzing out the sensors. So the sensors didn't realize that they were pumping more fuel. Essentially like what Red Bull, because Red Bull were doing that flexi hose thing where you put the sensor in a strategic place, fill up the line, and then you could pump more through like after.
Okay.
So you'd bottleneck down the system.
You'd bottleneck it
whereas
once.
I think whereas which Red Bull got caught there where they had put in extra sensors or whatever. But I think Ferrari was doing something, from what I've heard, they were doing something where they were skitzing out the sensors. So the sensor wasn't reading when they were doing it. Because it only takes a reading every, like it's not a constant thing. I think it's a reading every second or something like that. And they were doing it somehow that they were bypassing. But because it's never been. Reading. Yeah, well, it's never come out what they were actually doing because this is still. This is an active conspiracy theory.
Yeah, they got told off, and then they're like, "Don't do it again. We won't tell anyone what you did."
Well, I think it was a bit as well. Like, we know you are doing something wrong. We don't know how you're doing it. If you tell us, we won't punish you. If you don't tell us, we will find you and we will kill you.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, we'll figure it out.
If you tell us how it's done, we'll let you go and we won't tell anyone else what you did.
Yeah, we won't tell anyone else. And we then also contest if anyone else is doing the same thing.
Because now we know. Because
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think there was a bit of that.
Yeah, it looks like something they were doing similar to something what Red Bull was doing. It's just they've called it fuel flow gate. So they reckon it's just the way that was reporting back to the sensors, which are in terms of how much fuel they're actually flowing. Yeah.
So they're getting around, like you're still limited to the 100 liters in a race or whatever, or the 100 kilo in a race. But you can strategically use more, because most of them are only using like 90 kilos or whatever in a race anyway, because of the weight penalty.
And also, you still had to have fuel in the tank so they could do the testing on the fuel as well. You had to have at least a liter.
Yeah,
well, that
but it just means
conspiracy.
What's that?
The wacky fuels that they used to use in the 80s and 90s.
Oh,
that's not a conspiracy. That's 100%.
Not a conspiracy. That was 100%. Oh, that was ridiculous. Some of the stuff they used to put in there. Oh, ridiculous.
Yeah, like you'd have to wear gas masks and.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I reckon they probably mixed methanol in there too, just to make sure the engines ran cooler. They would have to have done that within the petrol.
Everything would have been in it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I remember reading up. I had a debate with somebody back in uni about what sort of fuels F1 was using, and I said there's additives in there that are not used in regular cars. He goes, no, there isn't. I go, trust me, there is. And this was back in the early 2000s. So you can imagine what the hell they were doing back in the 80s.
Oh, it was dangerous.
Breaking Bad chemistry.
Oh yeah, definitely like that.
Yeah, the full hazmat suit kind of dealio.
It was just nuts.
Yeah. I love these days because they're like, the Shell fuel you buy at the servo is like 99% the same as what goes in the Ferrari. And you're like, 99%. That 1% makes a big difference.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Technically, they're running E10 this year.
Well, Dave, true story. Yeah. I went to Shell. I put in the E98 in my Mazda, just like Ferrari did. I left. I was missing a tire. Yes. Thank you. I'd like to thank the Academy just for being nominated.
Yep.
Now my final conspiracy theory, Dave. I don't know if you've heard this one. Basically, Bernie Ecclestone was a part of the Great Train Robbery. And that's where he got his money.
I have not heard that one.
Possible. To be honest, I have heard it, but I've never looked into it or anything.
Oh, I have notes.
Oh, wow.
Tell us the story.
Tell us the story, Matt.
So basically it goes, he's got a bunch of money. Where did it come from? Also, you were around the train robbery. Like, it's all very convenient. Where did you get your money from?
He was a car dealer. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
from
importer,
car dealing.
exporter.
Yeah.
Basically, it was, where'd you get your money from? And he's like, also, I have money.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I thought he was a bit more level-headed, but the latest one where he got caught with the gun on the plane.
Yeah.
That was pretty special.
Can you put that down to older age now? Considering how old he is?
I did this when I got on the train last time. I can do it on a plane. I mean, I didn't say that. I definitely didn't rob a train. Shut up.
There's different rules for rich people, don't you know?
Exactly.
Also, from these conspiracy theories, like Buvy said, the 80s and 90s were a wild time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was, because they didn't know how to test for some of the stuff because essentially the teams were outrunning the rule makers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
1992 F1, the Williams Renault. 1992 Williams Renault. Who could beat that thing? Nobody.
Basically, it sounds like, and I'm going to get but cycling in the early 2000s. No one could keep up with what they would do.
You mean the one person? You mean the one person?
No, Buvy. Buvy, it was teams.
I know a lot of them were doing it, but then there was one particular person that took it to the next level.
A lot.
A lot. And then Buvy, like Crashgate, kicked him out. So then he came back and said, guys, you're not going to believe this. You know how he can get up the mountain really, really fast? It's not natural. I know why. And then the other guy sued him. And then he's like, I never did that. And then it turns out he did.
Yep.
And then he told Oprah.
On that, though, like, I'm a bit with F1, like, as you say, like with the Ferrari engine thing, they're a bit like, okay, we know you're doing something wrong. And they get to stay in it. Like, to me, a little bit, like, he passed all those tests at the time. So he was within the rules at the time. My attitude's a bit like, well, he didn't get caught at the time. Like,
the thing is, it's like with F1. F1 is the pinnacle, right? If you've managed to circumvent, good on you. Maybe next year you can't do it.
Do you go back, though, then and say, like, there were times probably, with teams running flexi wing and things like that. And then do you kind of go, like, okay, we haven't got a test that proves that this is outside the rules, but it is. And then they're able to test it or whatever. And then they're like, okay, you stop doing that now. Do you then go back and take off, say, all the wins of the previous?
But was it illegal back then?
Technically,
say like a flexi wing thing. Like, I mean, Red Bull, I think they were the adjuster thing that they were running. It was probably around 2016 or so. I think that had been on the car all year.
Yeah.
And they finally got found at the last race of the year what they were doing.
That's on the FIA.
And
if you didn't see it.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, is that then on World Cycling, like, or whatever, UCI? You didn't catch him at the time.
Different. I think it's because one of them is literally like, you can't have any drugs.
Yeah.
It's a blanket.
You can't have any.
F1 sort of like, Dave, don't put this here, but you put it somewhere else. Technically, you're okay.
Yeah, but like, say Red Bull, like, you're not allowed to have flexi wings, and they've gone, right, so you're putting 50 kilos on the rear wing or whatever to test it, and they go, right, we've figured out a way that we can put 50 kilos on the wing and it doesn't flex. But when we're doing 100 Ks an hour down the track, it starts to flex.
That's just clever engineering.
They've still got a flexy wing.
But
well, he's just cleverly engineering his blood to pass the test.
Well, no, technically they have a flexi wing, but it's a fixed flexi wing, fixed above 50 kilos.
They've designed it to pass a test. He's designed his blood to pass a test.
No. He flushed out his blood.
He flushed out his blood.
Yeah, I actually don't know how it all works, and I am definitely not a fan of Lance Armstrong. I reckon he's a piece of shit.
If they were testing the F1 car, they would drive around in one car, and then they'd say, "Can we check your car, Dave?" And you'd be like, "Let me just get another car, test that car. All good. We're gonna go."
Exactly. That's what he was doing.
Look over there.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's
F1
working within the rules.
Yeah, if you're the smarter engineer. And right now, Red Bull have the smartest engineers.
Yep.
I just like having the argument with people about,
I like seeing F1, circumvent the list of rules that says, like, you can't have this. We'll put it here. Technically, it doesn't say you can't do that.
It's like Aston with their rear wing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another the Mercedes side pods this year.
Exactly.
When they first came out, all the other teams went like, they're illegal, and then they went, no, we've read the rules this way or whatever, and okay.
That's what I mean. It's how you interpret it.
Exactly.
And then I assume you have clever F1 lawyers who just,
Well, unless you're Alpine,
you
then you can't even get a driver contract organised.
No, you have clever engineers, Matt. You have clever engineers.
No, but then you'd have the lawyer to explain what the engineer did.
Yeah.
And say, side pod, it's okay. You read it that way. I read it
technically,
this way.
if you look at it, if you looked at what they consider to be the standard F1 car, where they were showing it, the models and everything, that sort of stuff, and I'd seen it in person when I'd gone to I just went to a car show randomly out in the Mornington Peninsula, and they had it on display there. I was looking around it. None of the cars look like that now. It's just nuts. Like there's been that many revisions. It's just like you look the way they did the side pods. Nobody's got a side pod like that anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, open to interpretation.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what the rules are. Okay, you have these technical rules. Build something within the rules. If you find a loophole, we will eventually find out that you've found that loophole, and we'll close it off. That's how the rules. That's how rules and regulations work.
Dave said they discovered it at the end of the season. They should be like, you can have it this season.
Basically, that's what it is. But next season, you can't have it.
Next season, we change it. Yeah.
Although technically, who was it?
No, say like there was Red Bull at that time, and they kind of went, "Oh, you guys have been running this all year," and they're like, "Prove it."
Video footage.
So, which they had been, and it's like, well, Lance Armstrong, you've been EPOing your whole career. Prove it.
Prove it.
And they did, and then they stripped it. But Dave, fun fact, they went back and checked, and basically said the top 20 were also juicing, so no one could get it. It was like
no one gets a prize. Yeah,
nobody gets the prize. Yeah,
yeah.
I think they went through it, and it was like first, second, third, nope, fourth, nope, fifth, nope. Like if you entered, Dave, and finished, you may have won it.
Well,
you could be the 21st rider.
Yeah, that
like Latifi.
Yeah. Maybe that's his strategy.
Possibly.
I'll do everything 100% by the book, and then if we ever
they all get done for cocaine usage.
Yeah.
And I become world champion.
That is one thing. Like the F1 field is very clean cut with that kind of stuff as well, though.
You'd have to be. You can't really be high driving around in cars.
Do they drug test you?
Of course they do.
Yeah.
They're like
I was having a discussion with someone the other day about the F1 drivers. Essentially, I think it's like 3 months in advance have to notify the WADA or whatever where they're going to be 3 months in advance. Like give them their schedule so that they can turn up.
Is it a rough schedule or is it a rough schedule?
No, they have to give them the schedule, and if the schedule changes, you have to notify them. So if they want to rock up and do a random, and I have heard that, they do randomly turn up.
Okay.
Just, like probably not if you're in a weird place or whatever, but they'll, might be on holidays in America or whatever, and they come knocking on your door and like, all right.
Yeah, exactly.
Time to do your
if
test.
You're in one of those 1 hour hotels, they'll be like,
well,
here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they don't care if you're getting busy.
They don't care where you are.
Having a nap.
They don't care where you are, Matt. They'll just knock up at your door saying, okay, you have to give us a urine sample now.
I saw a photo a couple of days ago. I don't know if it's true. But is it true that they gave Lewis Hamilton alcohol at the end of a race because they were a sponsor before giving him water?
What?
There's
I wouldn't have thought so.
There's like an old photo of him collapsed, and they're trying to feed him alcohol.
What?
And because he was a
maybe they
sponsor
put water in the alcohol bottle.
Maybe.
Because you'd think
I do question sometimes all those Red Bull drink bottles and stuff that the drivers have.
No, I reckon that's all water and electrolytes. They wouldn't be drinking Red Bull.
That'll be a water drink. Yeah.
Yeah, the special mixes. Yeah. I reckon there's probably special cans of things like Red Bull and that get made that are just cans of like water or, these are the special Max Verstappen cans.
Yeah.
Because I've drunk heaps of Red Bull and I'm no better at driving. So...
And you drank the Lewis Hamilton Monster as well.
That was atrocious. I passed out on the back of Buvy's car and I could see sound. Was it very
fruity?
It was. I kept complaining to Buvy.
I could smell it. I could smell it. I could smell. I could actually smell the drink. It was pretty. It was an interesting flavor, like in terms of the smell.
I kept telling Buvy he was blessed,
smell colors,
and his carbon footprint was too high.
Oh yeah.
It was horrendous.
Jumped on your private plane.
Yeah, and then I said, I don't have time for this, and I jumped off and I flew away.
You jumped on a private plane and just jumped out of the car.
Yeah, rolled out.
So we covered off all the conspiracies.
Yeah, we have.
I think
we have. Is that all?
The other one is the F1's used fake sponsors to launder money. There's a lot of like made up companies on the side of the.
That's true.
Oh, there would have been over the years, yeah.
There would have been, yeah. Rich Energy was one.
That's the one. Rich Energy.
Rich Energy. Was a big one.
Yeah, that's the very strange one. That one.
That was a very strange one. That one.
Laundering money because there was no money.
They didn't actually pay. Was it Lotus? They were sponsoring Lotus at the time, weren't they?
Haas.
Oh, they were sponsoring Haas. Okay, I thought it was Lotus.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there was that one, but then also back in the day, Matt, you had all the cigarette companies. Yeah, that's it, Michael. Yeah, that's the one. All the tobacco companies were.
Well, they had Minwow or whatever.
Minnow. Yeah, that's what it was. And then I think McLaren's got something on theirs that I've never really known about that particular company.
That's a cigarette company as well.
Yeah, so
the Vuse ones are it's a e-cigarette thing.
Yeah, it's still going on.
They had basically you have what's it called? A tobacco company, and then you just call it like Fresh Air. And they're like, oh, that sounds nice.
Yep.
No,
yeah, all of them do, Michael. Don't worry about that.
That's it. Ferrari's dead. Ferrari's dead.
But there has been some like genuine,
Matt,
money laundering.
Background music. Is there anything? Can we put some X-Files?
X-Files is an copyright content.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
People get sued.
No, we can hum it. We can hum it off tune.
What happens with that whole kind of thing is that YouTube takes whatever profits you make off the video and gives it to the rights holder.
Yeah.
So joke's on them. We don't make any profits off these ones.
Exactly. No, the funny thing is though, you can still have a X-Files theme, but all you need is off by a couple of notes, and they can't. And it's not copyright infringement.
Off you go, Buvy.
Dominic, find something.
Just got to work out how to do it, and we're all good. Yeah. Is that X-Files?
Is that X-Men?
Yeah. No,
it's just
no.
It's just off.
It sounds very similar to X-Men. Yeah, it does.
It's good to know that we all run this show into the floor.
Oh, of course we do.
We've all...
there's one thing we haven't covered yet.
What's that?
What's that?
You hate Elon Musk.
No, not that one. I'm talking about the.
Is that when I get to go to bed?
Yeah.
No, no, I was talking about the Lambo thing cars.
I haven't read up
Monster.
about this, so I've got no comment.
Okay, I read up on it. It actually
photo.
looks like a nice looking. It actually is a nice looking car.
Because some of these new ones, they're a bit strangish.
Yeah, the problem is though the photo that they've got online is just it's just like the
outline.
Sometimes when they do concept car or car releases, they've got almost like just the outline of the car and that's it. So basically, all you see is thank you, Matt. It's a silhouette of the car it's got a silhouette with the LED lights in almost looks like a windmill formation, and sort of looks like a prototype car with the Lamborghini badge on the front of it.
Yeah, it looks like those LM1, 24-hour car.
Yeah, well, that's what it's going to be, isn't it?
Yeah,
basically.
But what I don't know with these rules and whatever that they're doing. I don't know. There's supposed to be.
The problem is we can't watch it properly
now,
anyway. We can't really watch it anyway because it's on a stupid stand.
I can watch it.
Goodbye, Stan.
Can you watch it, Dave? Yeah.
Does your stand run out?
No, I can't anymore.
You can't watch it anymore? The shame.
Yeah, Stan will be. I will be reunited with Stan for St. Petersburg next year.
Okay.
I think on Friday of St. Petersburg, I will reintroduce my household to Stan. And then as soon as Laguna Seca's over, it will be cut again. Because
that's
$30 a month for something that doesn't have IndyCar can go to hell.
$30.
That's because you have. Yeah, you would. Yeah, because Matt, he has to get the extras. You've got to get all the extra packages to get sports properly.
You've got to get the HD package to get sport.
Yeah, we have it for sport. I can't say them. I don't want to be kicked out.
Does it involve something that? Does it involve something round? Oh, that's sport. I thought it was for the other one, Matt, where they throw something backwards.
Oh, they do that one too.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the one that you can play on Wii Sports.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Bowling.
It's the bowling.
Oh, yeah.
And baseball.
So, Dave, you'll be getting it back on the 5th of March then.
Or
a couple of days before that. Or a couple of days before then, so you can watch qualifying and stuff.
Now, Buvy,
I will watch the rest of Better Call Saul then.
Buvy, can you explain to us why, one, we shouldn't give money to Elon Musk, and two, why Tesla's the worst car on the road?
No, actually, the only problem I have with Tesla is their customer service.
What's wrong with their customer service?
It's the worst in the world. I've heard
I don't know.
Really
I've got a story
stories.
about BMW.
No, BMW. No, Tesla's just as bad. Probably Tesla's. Don't worry, everybody's got one. I've heard some horror stories coming in from Jeep owners as well.
Well, I was just going to say I've got a family member who owned a Jeep, and
family member. Is that what she's called?
When we're talking about the Jeep. And that family member also has a friend who signed an NDA and will not discuss with me what happened with they got a full refund off Jeep. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How long does the NDA last for?
I'm not sure.
They must have made.
But I said what happened, and she went, "No, I got a full refund. I'm not discussing it."
Oh, it sounds like It sounds like this one guy I know in NZ.
Settled under table.
There was one guy in NZ who, a particular fuel company over there, he'd stated that the fact that that particular fuel company was providing subpar fuels that weren't up to New Zealand standards, the company came after him. But then it got proven that he was right. But the problem is it got all covered under a hush hush. Okay, fine, you were right. Can't say anything about it, and he can't. Technically, he wasn't supposed to talk about it with me, but he did let a couple of things in and out of there.
Too late now.
Do tell.
No, but not like he couldn't go into full details. But
I won't tell anyone. It's just between the three of us.
Yeah, no one else.
And the how many people that are listening to us on the
everyone's got to sleep.
After show.
Just us now.
It'll be after show. It'll be all right. So yeah. So yeah.
All right, so I think we've covered everything this week.
I think we've done quite well.
We've done well.
We had some conspiracy theories.
We had some
we had it going along. And we covered no racing. So
yeah, well, technically there was no racing.
There isn't anything to talk about. Yeah, next weekend we've got Singapore Grand Prix, so we'll do some predictions then.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think Rob's on holidays for a couple of weeks. So
Ferrari does. Prediction done.
That's a bit early, isn't it?
Nah, Michael knows.
Michael knows. G'day, Dave. G'day, Blake.
Yeah.
New person joined up.
I'm struggling because this little screen is far away from me, so I'm struggling to read through the comments.
Yeah, you're not on your big screen. There we go.
There we go. G'day, Blake.
Blake,
I'm not used to this.
You're not used to non-hosting.
Yeah,
it's a nice setting in here.
You've got a nice background though. You're in a good background. Yeah. That's all right.
Is that 2 cars, Dave?
You've got a full poster.
Yeah. There's one here as well.
Right next to you.
Oh, yeah. Well, I can answer this. I watched the movie. I watched the movie 3 weeks ago.
It's all Buvy's fault. He hasn't watched the movie.
Yeah, blame
I didn't. Hey, I got a last minute call up, so I wasn't sure if I had to watch the movie or not.
Nothing to do with me not watching it yet.
Never blame the boss.
Never
blame I think we'll have to watch 2 movies next week.
We've got to do preview, Matt. We've got to do preview, so I've got a feeling the preview is going to take up a lot of the time. That's the problem.
You think that, Buvy, but no.
Oh, trust me.
We can make it quick.
What, the movie review? It was crap.
We can drag anything out, and we can also make anything really quick. I think some of the biggest topics this year we've covered off in like 30 seconds, and
the smallest topics 1 hour.
Yeah, like e-scooters.
Hey, Buvy, mate, I'm in charge now. I'm not mucking around.
And on that note,
you may come back to say goodbye, Buvy.
Okay, fair enough. I shouldn't have questioned, but the problem is we haven't heard anything from a while. That's the problem.
They're not answering my calls.
E-scooter Hat Championship's gone real quiet.
I know.
It has.
I thought he would have said
like
something.
Latifi's career.
Oh, you mean Gatofi?
It's gone.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think we've done all right.
And James,
we've done well.
Called the first good night.
Yeah, he has already.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right, we're out of here.
They're out.
We're out.
We're out.
We'll be back next week for the usual show. Until then, good night.
See you all.
Hey, peoples.